Eurasian Bob has done it again with another really sweet car. Let's take a look. You guys have seen a previous video of a Chrysler Conquest that was red. No, this is not the same car. This is a Mitsubishi Starion, a 1988 Mitsubishi Starion. So if you're thinking that we've already seen this video, this is the same car, no, well, it kind of is the same car with the same problems. Exactly the same problems. Let's take a look around this car. There are some subtle differences from the Conquest to the Starion. We'll look around, look at the interior, and then we'll talk about why is it here. This one seems to be in a little better shape than the Conquest was. The Conquest had a lot of paint flaws. This one's, although it's a little dirty, it is really pretty nice. It has a really beautiful stock wheels on it. If you go down this side, it's not dented or dinged up, banged up. The wheels are really nice. They're nice and shiny. They're not all scratched up from curb rash. The paint's, like I said, is in very good shape, but it looks like someone rubbed against it here or something. Phone call. What's up?
Hello, Wizard.
You're driving the Corvette, huh?
Yes, you fixed the tachometer and you didn't tell me it's working.
Yes, it's alive.
What'd you do?
We had to buy an adapter, an MSD adapter for the distributor, and it worked perfectly.
Okay, well, it's driving so well that I think I'm going to test it a little bit more.
Oh, it's not coming back.
No, you may see me in a day or two.
Oh, okay, in a day or two.
That's all right.
No problem. Well, we're just filming here at the Starion, and we're going to...
Oh.
See?
Urination Bob's car.
Euro-Asian Bob.
Urination Bob's car, yes.
Okay.
Have fun with that.
All right.
We'll enjoy this 427. Hopefully I come back on my own power and not a flatbed, but it's doing great.
Oh, it's doing great. Awesome.
Yes.
All right, well, enjoy.
Bye, Wizard.
See ya. Okay, I guess we can get back to filming now. That is 427. If you guys haven't checked out his video, it's really sweet. It's a 66 Stingray 427 that he got as a barn find. You guys need to check out the video. Apparently it's doing really well, and I'm really happy for him on that. Now let's get back to the Starion. On the back end of the Conquest, there was issues with the spoiler, there was paint issues, but on the Starion, that is not so. It's in good shape. Again, there's some weird, I don't know what that is, discoloration, but not really that big of a deal. There is a center cap missing on this wheel. Again, that's not that big of a deal, easily solved. The paint is really nice on this side. I don't know where Euro-Asian Bob finds these cars, but it's pretty amazing. Now we're back to the front again. Quintessential 80s styling. That is not 90s. You know that's 80s styling. It looks really cool. Let's take a look at the interior. So 132,000 miles on this Starion. You can see right there, there's a difference right in front of you. The steering wheel is different. On the Conquest, it had a big upside-down V-shaped style steering wheel. This one's a 4-spoke. And there's some buttons actually on the steering wheel. I think some of the lettering, some of the icon, and some of the things are different in here. There's not a whole lot of huge differences, but there's a lot of subtle differences. It does have a crack in the windshield, you can see that. But the dash is in good shape. Everything's in good order there. Here's our, kind of like a touch screen. It's touch sensitive HVAC controls. Below that is our stock stereo. It says computer controlled deck. Ooh, wow. Isn't that cool, Mrs. Wizard?
That's amazing. I'm just loving the 90s styling. I mean, if we go back up here, I remember having an 89 Grand Prix that had these little wings off the console that you could do all sorts of controls.
Yeah, that's like an 80s thing, early 90s thing. It does have a CD changer, a Kenwood CD auto changer controller right there. So that's been added. The seats are in good shape. They could be polished up, but they're not cracked or broken as far as the leather being broken open. They are definitely salvageable. Really pretty nice for the age.
So does it have ejecting seats or something?
No, those are for the seat belts. These are the years of the 80s seat belts that try to strangle you every time you get in.
Ah, yes.
This door panel's in good shape, not cracked or beat up or holes in it. It's all good to go. And our tiny, tiny little back seats. They are also in good shape. As small as they are, they still are nice. And the headliner is kind of like an Alcantara fuzzy suede.
Blizzard, stop petting the Alcantara.
Sorry, it's actually very nice. So yes, the interior is in very good shape. The shifter itself does have the leather peeling off. If it were me, I would just peel it off and use the rubber. But we'll leave it as is. That's the way it came, and we'll leave it alone. Well, let's head on out to the engine bay. So these have a turbocharged 4-cylinder with about 188 horsepower, 234 pounds of torque, which really isn't that bad. It's pretty good. Let's take a look. And as you can see, this one's apart. The turbo and the exhaust is off of it. Just like the Conquest, and I mean exactly like the Conquest. These studs for the exhaust are broken in the exact same spots. 2 of them were broken actually. So we're going to have to use, which I've already done. Years ago, I actually worked in the aircraft industry for Cessna Aircraft, and over the course of the years that I worked there, I drilled out rivets, thousands of rivets. If there was a whole row of rivets that got installed by a bunch of different people that weren't correct, I always got volunteered to drill them out because I could drill dead precise, very much in the center, and not blow out the hole, destroy the hole. In this scenario, it would be very difficult to use a standard drill. I'll show you. As you can see, I really can't get a straight shot on it. I like to have a very precise drilling in the center, and this is just not going to be possible with this thing. But I do have a really sweet Milwaukee tool. An angle Milwaukee drill that I've used. You can see it's all scuffed up. I've used it to drill out so many bolts. Even the edges are scuffed up here. As you can see, I can get right in there. Right into the holes. Perfect. So also there was a small power steering leak, which was just a hose, a supply hose from the reservoir right here on down. The clamp was actually just bad. The hose wasn't bad, so we put a new clamp and it solved that while we're there. We've got the manifold out so that we could access and drill out these broken studs. And I usually go up to the next size up because these are prone to break in the same exact spots on all these different Conquests or Starions. I decided to put a stronger bolt in those locations, and it seems to solve the problem for good. Let's head on over to the table where the turbo is. So here we have the turbo, which is the manifold and everything all in one unit. It's easier just to take out that way. But as you can see, these are the studs that were in the actual head. There's a broken clean off. They just can't hold the tension or the... I imagine over time with vibration, or if this gets a tiny bit warped, it just breaks the bolts. Here's a remnant of one I drilled out right through the center, and I was able to peel it out with a screwdriver without damaging the threads. But it doesn't matter anyway because I go up one size to the next size bolt. On this flange, you can see this hole and this hole are larger than the others because I went up a size on the bolt. So that allows room to make sure that the bolt is lined up and you can get it in without fighting. It doesn't need to really be that big, but it doesn't hurt it. So now when we go to put this back in, we will use the remaining studs and nuts, but we'll put 2 brand new bolts, grade 8 bolts, right in through there. Much stronger than the studs that were there before. There's nothing wrong with this turbo, there's nothing wrong with anything, we just needed to fix the broken bolts and studs. Whenever he was driving it, it would sound really bad, and you can see here on the exhaust manifold gasket, where it's dark right there, it's just shooting exhaust out the sides. And up here too. It sounded really bad. It sounded like a tractor. And although we do sell tractors here, I'm sure that Eurasian Bob doesn't want to sell this as a tractor. He wants to sell it as a Starion. See, look at the dark exhaust leak there, guys. So we'll get a new gasket on it, new bolts, stronger bolts in place of the ones that always break. And we'll get this back together. Manufacturers do this all across the board. There's Ford, Mercury, there's Chevrolet, Geo, there's Chrysler, Mitsubishi at the time that they were as one company. Now we have Fiat Chrysler, and then we have Tata Motors that owns Land Rover, Jaguar, Range Rover. They're all sharing the same parts. What happens is various companies get together, they want to make their own version of this car or that car, but they don't want to put out the money to develop a new car, so they just change one that's already existing and get it to be where they want it to be. Small, minor differences, so you know it's a different car. But other than that, what's up?
It overheated.
It overheated? You made it back, I guess. How hot did it get?
Hot.
Really hot, huh?
Yep.
Well, that's no good. Well, at least it's here and we can solve it.
Yes.
We need to dig in and find out why.
Mm-hmm.
What happened there? So.
Yes. Well, you're getting some progress on urination Bob's car.
Yes.
Is it the end of the video or the beginning of the video?
We're getting close to the end.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll just stand here and you can do your thing here.
Okay.
Sell the Amazon stuff and shirts and stuff.
Amazon shirts? No. So what are some brands you can think of? Like there was Chrysler, Mitsubishi, there was Chevrolet Geo. That kind of cross-platform, even though it's the same car, really.
Oh, well, I guess Volkswagen and Audi,
yeah,
very similar.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that. Chevy and GMC, there was way more back when this car was being built. But you're talking about even nowadays, I suppose, there's the BMW Z4 and the Toyota Supra. This is a great example of that, the Conquest and the, whatever these things are, Starions, yes?
Yeah, Starions.
Yes.
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned like Fiat and Chrysler. It's two different companies at one time, now they're one.
Right.
This was an overseas company that merged with Chrysler. At the time, they had a little merger going on, but not anymore. But we're going to get these studs. I showed them we're going to put new, stronger bolts in place and get it back together. Studs. Yep. He'll be able to put this on the lot and sell it without it sounding like a tractor.
I don't think he's selling it. I think he's keeping it.
He's keeping it.
Urination Bob has lifted his leg on this one as a keeper.
Okay. Well, this one is not going to be for sale from Urination Bob. Actually, I think it will eventually.
Probably.
Eventually. He's not going to keep this for 40 years. If he's alive that long, I don't know. Will I be alive in 40 years?
I hope so.
Well, you probably will be.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's just an old man.
Yeah. I'm getting old already.
So I actually drove this car up here to pick up
Right.
that, which then had to come back because it's not your fault.
No.
Not your fault. But there was the really noisy exhaust manifold, I guess, because the studs had broken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also the brakes were horrendous on this car, like almost to the floor. It barely worked. It was quite scary.
Oh, wow.
It made it.
I didn't know anything about that. The
Yes.
brakes were to the floor?
Yes.
Let's go check that out, guys.
Okay. We said guys, so it's plural.
Yeah, multiple.
Yes.
Multiple people.
Including you.
Well, let's give it a shot. Wow, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
All the way to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like nothing there. But if I pump it up, it starts to, it's like there's air in the system.
So just a bleed?
Yeah, I think we'll just bleed the brakes and that'll be good enough.
He said it had been sitting for a long time, and the tag on it was last registered in 2013 before he threw his dealer plate on it.
2013, huh?
Yeah.
I think we'll bleed the brakes and it'll probably be all right. Wow.
Yeah. He obviously didn't value my life that much because he sent me up here in a car with those kind of brakes.
I guess not. That's what you get for calling him Urination Bob, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
No brakes. So we'll get all these things fixed so you can drive it home back to Eurasian Bob with brakes, and it doesn't sound like a tractor, and no leaking power steering all over the floor.
As long as I'm not paying the bill, that's fine.
No, you're not going to pay the bill.
Okay.
We'll take care of that with Eurasian Bob.
Good, good, good.
Very good. So if you're curious what kind of tools we use to fix this job, like I just showed you my Milwaukee drill, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. All the tools we use in the shop are for sale there, and we get a small cut, and we appreciate that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button because we got lots of sweet projects to come. Thanks for watching.